Good morning, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1214. And I'm on Marcus Aurelius Monday. Marcus Aurelius Monday Meditations. We're in book 5 now. We're starting book 5 today. And with no further ado, number 1. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being, what do I have to complain of? If I'm going to do what I was born for the things I was brought into the world to do, or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm? But it's nicer here. So, you were born to feel nice instead of doing things and experiencing them? Don't you see the plants, the ants and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order as best they can? And you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands? But we have to sleep sometime. Agreed. But nature set a limit on that, as it did on eating and drinking. And you're over the limit. You've had more than enough of that, but not of working. There you're still below your quota. You don't love yourself enough. Or you'd love your nature too, and what it demands of you. People who love what they do wear themselves down doing it. They even forget to wash or eat. Do you have less respect for your own nature than the engraver does for engraving, the dancer for the dance, the miser for money, or the social climber for status? When they're really possessed by what they do, they'd rather stop eating and sleeping than give up practicing their arts. Is helping others less valuable to you? Not worth your effort? Okay, that was number 1. Number 2. To shrug it all off and wipe it clean, every annoyance and distraction, and reach utter stillness. You hear that? To shrug it all off and wipe it clean, every annoyance and distraction, and reach utter stillness. Child's play. Okay, back there's a cat playing with plastic bags, so that's the wrestling you hear. Just wanted to let you know. And the old one is running. Number 3, if an action or utterance is appropriate, then it's appropriate for you, but don't be put off by other people's comments and criticism. If it's right to say or do it, then it's the right thing for you to do or say. The others obey their own lead, follow their own impulses. Don't be distracted. Keep walking. Follow your own nature and follow nature with a capital N along the road they share. Number 4. I walk through what is natural until the time comes to sink down and rest, to entrust my last breath to the source of my daily breathing, fall on the source of my father's seed, or of my mother's blood, or of my nurse's milk, of my daily food and drink through all these years. What sustains my footsteps and the use I make of it, the many uses. Number 5. No one could ever No one could ever accuse you of being quick-witted. All right, but there are plenty of other things you can't claim. You haven't got in you. Practice the virtues you can show. Honesty, gravity, endurance, austerity, resignation, abstinence, patience, sincerity, moderation, seriousness, high-mindedness. Don't you see how much you have to offer beyond excuses like can't, and yet you still settle for less? Or is it some inborn condition that makes you whiny and grasping and obsequious, makes you complain about your body and curry favor and show off and leaves you so turbulent inside? No, you could have you could have broken free a long way back, and then you would have been only a little slow, not so quick on the uptake. but he's humorous. And you need to work on that as well, that slowness, not something to be ignored, let alone to prize. I think this is really cool that Marcus Aurelius back 2,000 years ago was making the same jokes as we are, not so quick on the uptake. I mean, these are real translations. They're not fake. They're not they're not paraphrasing. These are sentence by sentence translations from Latin. 6. Some people, when they do someone a favor, are always looking for a chance to call it in, and some aren't, but they're still aware of it, still regard it as a debt. But others don't even do that. They're like a vine that produces grapes without looking for anything in return. A horse at the end of the race, a dog when the hunt is over, a bee with its honey stored, and a human being after helping others. They don't make a fuss out of it. They just go on to something else as the vine looks forward to bearing fruit again in season. We should be like that, acting almost unconsciously, acting with a capital A. Yes, except conscious of it, because it's characteristic of social beings that they see themselves as acting socially and expect their neighbors to see it too. That's true, but you're misunderstanding me. You'll wind up like the people I mentioned before, misled by plausible reasoning, but if you make an effort to understand what I'm saying, then you won't need to worry about neglecting your social duty. Now, I want to say that in a psychology class I took at one point, it was a child psychology class course. The very first sentence of the very first only book we read in the first chapter, opening line was, the human being is a social animal. The human being is a social animal. This was in a psychology class, and it was on the very first day of lessons after we got the book. So anyway, that's what it is. Number 7, prayer of the Athenians. The Romans respected the Greek culture, just like in modern day Japan respects the Chinese culture. So sometimes I will say, actually, if you want to find archaic Chinese characters, you don't go to China, you go to Japan, because they are preserving it and they don't modify it, because to them it's a classic culture. So it's very interesting. And culture, language is a carrier of culture. It is a part of culture. Anyway, prayer of the Athenians, back to Marcus Aurelius, number 7. Zeus, prayer of the Athenians. Zeus, rain down on the land and fields of Athens. Either no prayers at all or one as straightforward as that. Number 8. So he's saying when you ask for something in a prayer, just ask for it straight out. Let me try to see something. Oh, let's see what. Okay, just 1 minute. 1 minute while I go and take address the distraction. Are you crazy or something? Oh goodness gracious! Goodness gracious. Okay. She can play with it after I'm done with this live. That's what I'm gonna do. Esri, you can play with this after the live, okay? It's gonna be just a minute or so more. Um, oh yeah. Good morning, John Clark. Good morning, Lisos Quintana. And good morning, Colleen B. Dracos. Number 8. Just as you overhear people saying that the doctor prescribed such and such for him, like riding or cold baths or walking barefoot, say this: nature prescribed illness for him. Okay, this is number 8, and it's a page long. Okay, number 8. Number 8 is an entire page long, right down to exactly the bottom of that page, and it has 2 lines right before it. Okay, so number 8. Just as you overhear people saying that the doctor prescribed such and such for him, like riding or cold baths or walking barefoot, say this: nature prescribed illness for him, or blindness, or the loss of a limb, or whatever. There, prescribed means something like ordered so as to further his recovery. And so too here. What happens to each of us is ordered. It furthers our destiny. And when we describe things as taking place, quote unquote, we're talking like builders who say that the blocks in a wall or a pyramid take their place in the structure and fit together in a harmonious pattern. For there is a single harmony, just as the world forms a single body. Okay, I want to pause to say he's talking about the logos, and to him, logos is of the gods, and they separate the various aspects of God into various characters in mythology, and it's like their religion, but it's really a mythology to us. But he's talking about the gods as a universe, the logos as one unit. So, as a matter of fact, they are kind of a pre-existing condition to Christianity, in my opinion. For there is a single harmony, back to him, just as the world forms a single body comprising all bodies, so fate forms a single purpose, co- comprising all purposes. Even complete illiterates acknowledge it when they say that something brought on this or that. Brought on, yes, or prescribed it. And in that case, let's accept it as we accept what the doctor prescribes. It may not always be pleasant. Losing a leg, my God. But we embrace it. It may not always be pleasant, but we embrace it because we want to get well. Look at the accomplishment of nature's plans in that light, the way you look at your own health, and accept what happens, even if it seems hard to accept. Accept it because of what it leads to, the good health of the world, and the well-being and prosperity of Zeus himself, who would not have brought this on anyone unless it brought benefit to the world as a whole. No nature would do that, bring something about that wasn't beneficial to what it governed. So there are two reasons to embrace what happens. One is that it's happening to you. It was prescribed for you and it pertains to you. The thread was spun long ago by the oldest cause of all, Logos. The other reason is that what happens to an individual is a cause of well-being in what directs in the world of its the other reason is that what happens to an individual is a cause of well-being in what directs the world of its well-being, its fulfillment, of its very existence, even because the whole is damaged if you cut away anything at all from its continuity and its coherence, not only its parts, but its purposes. And that's what you're doing when you complain, hacking, and destroying. That's what you're doing when you complain, hacking, and destroying. Isn't that very, very interesting? It's enlightening to me. So this was Morsels of a Thought number 1214. And today was, okay, happy birthday, Gina Portorf, 429, 2024. And it's a Monday, miscellaneous Monday. We do meditations by Marcus Aurelius. So next time we will start on number 9, and we're still in book 5. Book 5 has how many 31, 37 points to consider. So I think that would be great. How are you this morning? Well, I hope you're fine. I hope you've been inspired, and we try here to educate and impart a little bit of wisdom, a morsel of a thought. So I hope you've been entertained. Okay, bye now. Old Kinderhook.